Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Kat here. Today I'm gonna do a tag. I haven't done a tag in so long. I like to watch other people do tags, so I'm gonna do the spring cleaning tag, which you know because you can all read, so you saw it in the thumbnail. I get that we're already in May, so like it's debatable whether this is spring or summer, but I really want to do it because it sounded really cute, and I saw Reagan at Cruise Project do it, and I will also leave the link to the original creator as well down below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. So number one is the struggle to get started. Name one you haven't read because of the size. So the first one is Romantic Outlaws, The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley by Charlotte Gordon. I'm out of breath. I ran to get something to show you guys. So, you guys don't know, but my favorite book of all time is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and I love it so much, in fact, that my very good friend Kismet recently got me a scarf which has the story of Frankenstein printed on it. So, I love Frankenstein so much. I am so intrigued by the life of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley, and I really wanted to read this. I bought this a long time ago. It's a book I really wanted to get to. It's just so long. If you've read this and it's great, please let me know because it might like push me to read it. Number two, Cleaning Out the Closet. Name one you want to unhaul. So I am not going to get into what each of these stories is about because these are all the ones that I DNF'd that are still on my shelves. So I would like to get rid of them, I would like to unhaul them, and of course I don't really want to talk about them that much, so I'm just going to say their name and why I DNF'd them. So we have The Claiming of Sleeping Beauty by Anne Rice. DNF'd because it was rape in the first chapter of A Sleeping Woman. Nope. Alright, next. Just So Stories by Rudyard Kipling. Horrendous Racism. Nope. The Bastard of Istanbul by Elif Shafak. Gorgeous cover, hated the story, didn't care. Nope. And the last is 6'4" Hideo Yokoyama, sorry. I bought it partly because of this gorgeous pink edging, and I also bought it because my dad loves murder mysteries and I wanted to read it and send it to him if I liked it. I read it multiple times and I tried to read it every single night for a week and it put me to sleep. So boring, no. No thank you. Alright, so that's that. Bye! So number three is Opening Windows and Letting Fresh Air In. Name a book you found refreshing. So for this one, I'm going to say The First Time She Drowned by Kerry Kletter. So this one is an examination of a girl who recently got out of a mental hospital that her parents put her into when she had a huge disagreement with her mother. And then when she's released, her mother has somehow gotten her a scholarship or paid for her to go to school at a certain university. And it's an examination of the girl's life and the choices she makes in university, and also the family dynamics of a really messed up family. So I found this refreshing because the way that it portrayed the family, I felt was so real, because sometimes family drama is just like blown totally out of proportion, and then this one I just felt like it's so painful because it's so true. I don't know if this whole list is supposed to be like happy, but I don't know, maybe I interpreted that question wrong. But moving on. Number four, Washing the Bedding. Name one you wish that you could rewrite a scene from. So largely, I don't think any scenes should be rewritten because I didn't write the story, and as a writer right now writing a book, it's really hard to write a book, so I'm sure that the authors thought about each scene. However, I'm going to name a scene that just tore me apart and I wish I didn't have to read. Like, you know, you have to like read the scene for the story arc to complete, for the character arcs to complete, like it wrapped it up and stuff, but I'm just like, that was too painful and I never want to ever read that again. And that would be the end of Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. Now this one is obviously controversial because it deals with a brother and sister who are raising their family largely on their own, and then they happen to have feelings for each other as well. And the whole way through, you're feeling scared for them, and then there's a certain scene at the end, and I just never want to read it again. It was so sad. Yeah, so this is 5 out of 5 stars for me. I really enjoyed this book. It's just, whoa! Yeah, ripped my heart out. So, number 5, Throwing Out Unnecessary Knickknacks. name a book series that you find unnecessary or could have been combined. I'm gonna go with The Wrath in the Dawn by Renee Ahdieh. So I've only read the first one, I haven't read the second one because this is a cotton candy book. I mean cotton candy in the sense that when you actually bite into it, there's like less than you thought there was. So there's actually just under 400 pages in this book, but the text is so big and the story is so spread out that I feel like when I actually got through it, I was like, and then what? Where's the rest of this book? So I know it's a duology, but I really feel like it could have been condensed into one, either with some rewriting or just like a 700-page book, and then maybe I would have felt more completed. So number 6 is Polishing Doorknobs, a book that has a clean finish. So before I want to say that, I just want to say a fun fact, which is in Japan, there are no doorknobs. So like if you see behind me, usually there's like indentations in a door panel. There's never like something sticking out, like ever. Even our front door has just the indentations. So fun fact about a Japanese house. Okay, so for a clean finish, I am going with The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Oh my god. So everyone knows how the story of Achilles ends. Not well, you know, if you've ever read the Iliad. But the way that Madeline Miller wrote the little tiny bit of story after what happens to Achilles, I just found so completely brilliant and gut-wrenching and so perfect. Clean ending, like a perfect ending. And I was like blown away by just the mastery of the ending of this book. So if you've read it and you agree with me, please let me know because I just love to talk about this book like all the time. So number 7 is name a book or series that successfully got its message across. For this one, I'm going to choose We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. So this book completely came out of nowhere. I read it thinking that it would be one type of book, like kind of like a thriller where you work backwards from a horrible event. And in that regard, it is kind of, but it is more an examination of families and what it means to be a woman versus what it means to be a mother and what it means to like raise a child and to choose to have a child. And I thought that the way that this was written was so brilliant because I believe that the overall message is that there is no right or wrong way, and you couldn't judge any of these characters because everyone made mistakes and everyone did the best they could at certain points. So yeah, this book is so devastating and so great, I think, because she wrote all the characters with many flaws and many strong points. So the idea of if they should have the child or not, and whose fault it is or not, and if it was nurture versus nature, you could argue any side and technically be correct. So I think that the discussion around this book is really good for that point. And the point of it's really hard to judge the situation because everyone's life has so many moving parts, and you can't ever judge someone else's life just from one event. Like even this book, which chronicles like the family's whole life, the mother and the son's whole life, I don't even feel comfortable judging it. So I think in that regards, that message definitely got through, and I made my husband read it, and we've had a lot of talks about motherhood, childhood, family, life. Yeah, so amazing book. If you haven't read it, recommend. Number 8 is Spring Cleaning is Tiring, Ain't That the Truth? Yet satisfying. Name a book or series you found wholly satisfying. So for me, the book that I found most satisfying recently was Let the Right One In by John Ajvide. I always mess up his name, but I'll put the picture here, who is a Swedish writer. And in this one, we follow a boy who's being bullied at school, and he starts to have violent fantasies, and then he largely forgets about those fantasies and the bullies when a new girl moves in next door, and she is very weird. She's never seen a Rubik's Cube, and she smells like death and gore. This book was so good, and the ending was so satisfying. Like, just, oh my god, yes. Like, the whole story, I didn't know what was gonna happen, and then in the very last scene, when the pivotal thing happened to the boy, I was like, oh my god, please let this happen, please let this happen. And then it did, and I was like, yes, oh my god. Which, I mean, if you've read this book and you know what I'm talking about, I am not a violent person, but it was wholly satisfying, and I highly recommend it if you haven't read it. That finishes up my spring cleaning tag. I hope that you guys liked it, and if you have read any of these and you agree with me, please let me know down in the comments. Or if you have any recommendations for the ones that I said I really liked, I would also really love that. I hope that your guys' day is going well, and I will have a chat to you guys later. Have an amazing, amazing week, and yeah, bye! Toodles!